So before we can talk about anything else, we kind of need to discuss what is the South Carolina Residential Landlord Tenant Act. That's found in Chapter 40 of Title 27 of the South Carolina Code of Laws. And it's important for several reasons because it defines not only the terms that relate to interactions between landlords and tenants, like what is a landlord or who is a tenant or what does rent actually mean or security deposit, but it also determines the rights and remedies that are available to both landlords and tenants. And that can include anything like a landlord's right to evict people for non-payment of rent or violation of the terms of their lease or the termination of the rental agreement. Or it could include the right that a tenant has to not be self-help evicted by a landlord, to not be locked out of their residence. And that can also include a tenant's right to get repairs from their landlord or anything along those lines. So some of the benefits of the South Carolina Residential Landlord Tenant Act, which I'm just going to abbreviate SCRLTA, are things like no self-help evictions. And that's a big thing, especially when it comes to living in a hotel or living in an apartment or a house. The law just is pretty simple. A landlord may not recover or take possession of a dwelling unit by action or otherwise, except in case of abandonment or surrender or termination by the tenant. And so if the tenant refuses to allow lawful access, the landlord may obtain an injunction. So they have a remedy through the court, and they can obtain damages and those things. But a landlord cannot just choose to lock someone out without a court order. So the court can give a remedy by the landlord, but the landlord can't just take things into their own hands. They owe a tenant somewhere to stay. And if a tenant is locked out or unlawfully ousted, as the law kind of puts it, they have plenty of remedies. That could be twice damages experienced by the tenant. It could be 3 times the amount of rent that the tenant owes. There are a lot of benefits from that the law provides for tenants when they are unlawfully locked out. But to actually be a tenant, you have to have certain things according to the law.